Thank you and welcome to the first in-person legislative meeting in 2.5 years. Last time we were in this room was probably February of 2020. So it feels good to be back and to see everybody's faces. Welcome, everyone. We're gonna call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Burdell Williams.
And do this one. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Harding will now give the roll call. I'll put this down for now.
Thank you. Mr. Burdell Williams,
Present.
Mr. Cohen,
Present.
Mr. Epps,
Mr. Epps is not present today.
Mr. Fishbein,
Present.
Ms. Haywood,
Present.
Ms. Henry,
Present.
Ms. Lohman,
Ms. Lohman is not present today.
Ms. Mulhern, and Mr. Schultz.
Mr. Schultz is not present today.
Thank you. That concludes the roll call.
Thank you, Ms. Harding. We have our student representatives report. I believe Dylan is going to provide the report.
Hello. I am with the Student Council for School Board Liaison. Sorry for coming here late. I've never been here before, so thanks for letting me in here. As it is summer, there is nothing to report for the Student Council. However, and this message comes from the Cheltenham High School Government Club. I've come here with a request to see if any board members will be willing to work at the government club to help with the high school, help facilitate like politics, like voting, phone banking, and whatnot. So if it's possible, I would like the board's take on that. But other than that, I have nothing else to report. Good.
So Dylan, could you repeat your request to the board one more time, please?
I was wondering if any board members would be willing to work with the CHS Government Club to help us facilitate more politics within the student body. This could include like voting in elections, phone banking, and other events such as that.
Thank you, Dylan. We will work with Dr. Scriven and yourself to make that happen with the board members.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. That's
To
all I have to
coordinate
report.
everything. Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next we have this superintendent's report by Dr. Scriven.
So good evening, everybody. Truly a pleasure to be here in person. I welcome those who have joined us both in person and those who are with us virtually. This is our first hybrid meeting. So please excuse us as we work out the logistics. So I am charged at this time to bring forth the superintendent's report for August 9th, 2022. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce a couple individuals that are actually here in the audience with us as part of my superintendent's report. Cheltenham School District has been without a full-time business director for approximately 18 months. And it is truly my honor to introduce Mr. Joshua Swigert. And Josh, I'm gonna just ask you, Mr. Swigert, I'm gonna ask you to stand up so we can recognize you. He will officially be joining us this upcoming Monday. So it's long overdue. He's coming to us from Bristol School District and has been doing double time, to be quite honest with you, in terms of still bringing closure with his responsibilities as he's been actively onboarding with us here in the district. So Josh, welcome and thank you, sir, Mr. Swigert. Looking forward to the work. We have another esteemed guest in the audience who we are ecstatic to have. As you are aware, last spring, our high school principal resigned. We went through the full process of opening that position and interviewing. Since it happened so early in the year, we had a level of awareness, and we found an outstanding candidate, and that is Mr. Jimmy DeAndrea, and I'll call him Principal DeAndrea. Please stand up, sir, so we can personally recognize you. He will proudly share with you that he has officially relocated from Maryland and is now a resident of Cheltenham School District. So he is deeply vested and has been working tirelessly since he joined with meeting with staff, students, and laying the groundwork for this upcoming 2022-2023 school year. I did not ask this individual to join us in person and probably should have, but he's busy onboarding at this current time. Extremely excited. Me and Dr. Smith kind of did a tag team through the process of really looking for someone who is just deeply committed to the district. As you are aware, I am a product of Cheltenham, and so is this individual who will be assuming the athletic director position at Cheltenham High School, and that is Mr. Patrick Fleury, who will be wearing a playing a dual role, and he will continue for this year as our head basketball coach and also in the capacity as AD, and we will evaluate that year to year. He's very clear with that and understands that awesome responsibility that both of those assignments carry. So in his absence, can we still acknowledge Mr. Fleury? New faces in the district. It was interesting. We just had our pre-review of the agenda, and we have probably hired close to 40 new faculty and staff to Cheltenham School District. I have the esteemed privilege of meeting with each one of those individuals one-on-one prior to giving that final nod to Mrs. Tolbert Jackson, our Director of HR, who then subsequently starts the onboarding process. But we are extremely excited about the talent that we have identified for our district, and just looking forward to the great work that each one of those individuals will be doing. This is just a high-level overview, I believe, that you may be seeing, but we will be having an induction for these new employees, and they will start officially with the entire school district team doing our in-service on August 23rd. So these meet and greets, this is my second opportunity to do meet and greets. And with me just beginning my tenure here in November, I felt that it was important to join Mr. DeAndrea as the new principal at the high school. We've conducted 3 of these meet and greets thus far, and we've had pretty good turnout. Great questions, and our parents are truly excited. Our students have been on some of those meet and greets. So it's going to be interesting. They're ready to go for a new school year. Dr. Smith and other members from the team have been there to give us moral and knowledge content support in terms of some of the questions which parents pose, which are all very detailed in nature because they want to have a clear idea of the direction that we're moving as a district. We have one more meet and greet, as you can see, and I encourage any of our high school parents to join us in our small theater at the high school on August 11th at 7 o'clock. Strategic plan update. I will probably be in this position for the entire night because this has been a long week. We had an opportunity as an advisory committee to meet with our vendors who are partnering with us in terms of facilitating the development of our 3 to 5 year strategic plan. We had a very detailed meeting the other night, which ran for approximately 3 hours, where there was a plethora of information afforded us, which really gave us an overview of our district, both the strengths and the areas for potential growth. We will have our second advisory committee meeting tomorrow evening, and then we will resume again next Monday and next Wednesday. We will be looking at revisiting our mission and vision statement, even though I feel that we have a lot of things that are in our current mission and vision, which are relevant. This is an opportunity while developing our strategic plan to make sure that as we're moving in the 21st century, as we're looking at being innovative as a district, does our mission and vision truly encompass all the core values, all of the beliefs, all of the high level priorities that we feel we represent? One of the things that we'll really be working on is what is our brand and what is our identity as a district? We want that clearly and explicitly defined where that anyone could articulate what we stand for and what we represent. And subsequently, our actions should be aligned to that mission and vision that we finalize. So I'm excited about that work. We are hoping to have a finalized plan in October, but please note that that is not hindering us from doing our school improvement work and putting in systemic protocols and structures which are going to move our district forward. I want to highlight Dr. Smith just for her leadership at this time, really around summer programs, and for our staff that's in the audience or who may be watching us virtually. We had around 300 virtual courses that were taken this summer. The virtual realm is something that, even though we're coming back in person, I think there's a lot of value to the flexibility and the options that still being able to receive virtual instruction afford our students. 300 different courses were offered this summer. That's very robust. Approximately 160 students with additional in-person supports. Dr. Gallagher, under her leadership, and Dr. Smith, we also had our extended school year program, where we approximately had 90 of our Cheltenham students participate. And I'm not going to read what you can clearly see, but the power of that program was outstanding. We're extremely excited about bringing our autism support program under our umbrella. All of our faculty and staff have been hired for that program, and there's also been a series of meet and greets that have happened at the school level, introducing those individuals to the parents and the students that they will be working with. Additionally, there was a K-8 program, which we added a different twist. So it's so important to have that instructional component, but students should be students or have that opportunity in the summer as well. So we had partnered with our Right at School team. They offered an extended summer program beyond just the instructional component. And there was a lot of positive feedback. We are definitely going to look and explore to see how do we continue to enhance that. I'm gonna be honest, and the board, please check us. This is one of the first times I'm understanding that we actually had an opportunity to break bread together. We actually shared the meal together. And the vendor that provided that meal was Whiston's. They are going to be our new provider for food services. And we have chefs now at each one of our locations. We got to experience firsthand some of the culinary abilities of those chefs, and it was outstanding. So really excited about that. We also, and I just wanted to highlight this, we talk about the need for making sure that everyone has access to food. We were very intentional about making sure that we had locations where anyone within our community who wanted to could receive a meal this summer. And this is just to highlight that there were slightly over 5,000 meals that were served throughout the course of the summer. That was a need that was met. And we will continue to find ways to reach those. I want to kind of put a pin in this right now to say that going into next year, we will be serving all of our breakfasts for free to our students. I need to be extremely clear. By no means should this be viewed as a negative. This is not something that we are doing just to be doing. We're able as a system to provide that service. And we want to provide the service for all students. So parents, whether you need the service or not, whether you financially can afford or not, is not the point. It's a free service that as a district we're offering and we want you to take advantage of. So just wanted to highlight that. And then last but not least, I wanted to showcase, I know many of you now, I'm gonna date myself. I go back to the Carmichael, Wilbert, Montgomery days, so you can figure out how old I am, and you know when I graduated. So I'm an Eagles diehard. We had Jalen Hurst. We partnered with him, our coaching staff, our varsity football team, Dr. Smith and others were actually out there. It was an awesome opportunity. A free camp was afforded our students, and we wanted them to be exposed to what a professional competition looks like at that level. So kudos to him, to his outreach, to his camp. I hope that this is the first of many times that he decides to knock on our door. So I know we did not have all of the celebrations that we normally have in terms of highlights, but we are coming out of the summer. So please stay tuned. September, when we do kickoff, we'll be extremely excited about what that superintendent reports looks like. And that brings closure for me and my part of the agenda for this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Scriven. We have a solicitor's report by Mr. Diazio.
Yes, thank you. I do have the Sunshine Act announcement for this evening. The board has held 2 executive sessions since the last public meeting. Those executive sessions took place on Tuesday, June 21st and Thursday, June 30th, 2022. And the topic of the executive sessions was contract negotiations with the CEA. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diazio. We now have public comments on agenda items only. As this is our first hybrid meeting, I'd like to just point some things out to those that are joining us in person and those of us that may be joining through other channels. In-person attendees can approach the podium. And virtual participants who are attending via Zoom should use the raise hand tool. When your name is called, you will be granted speaking privileges. Those that are viewing through our streaming channel or watching the broadcast can submit questions and comments via CSD board meeting comments@cheltenham.org. For all commenters, I couldn't get that word out. For all commenters, please state your name and where you reside in the township. Thank you. To allow a few minutes. Anything coming through? Okay, we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is the approval of the June 14th, 2022 minutes. I'm going to call a vote for that. All in favor of the minutes, the approval of the minutes, say aye.
I move to approve them.
I'm sorry.
I move to approve them.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. This
Second,
is summer. Is
second,
there a motion to approve?
I move to approve them.
And is there a second?
second.
Thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries. We now have our committee reports. We will start with financial affairs. Mr. Fishbein.
The Financial Affairs Committee has not met since the last meeting, so there is nothing to report. We will have a report at the next legislative meeting.
In September, okay, thank you. Educational affairs, Ms. Haywood.
Yes,
Give your
thank you,
report.
Ms. Henry. The final Educational Affairs Committee meeting of the school year convened on June 21st, 2022. Is what? Closer? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, all righty, I'll start over. The final Educational Affairs Committee met on June 21st, 2022 via Zoom. There was one agenda item covering the final review of the 2016-2021 school district strategic plan that was extended 1 year. The goal of the presentation was to make sure that we understood where we ended with the current plan and identify suggestions or changes as we go into our current strategic planning process. Similar to previous presentations, this meeting reviewed the 5 pathways of the strategic plan, starting with curriculum and instruction. Some of the highlights included developing a horizontally and vertically aligned curriculum from K to 8 in writing and reading, and implementing 180 and System 99 for students with IEPs. In terms of student achievement, some of the milestones were implementing flexible scheduling to allow more time on task with students and providing ongoing and responsive academic supports. A key accomplishment was reaching fidelity with the Tier 1 Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, or PBIS, for the 2021-2022 school year. By the end of the school year, we had fully implemented a professional learning plan and shifted delivery of professional development using internal resources. And due to the challenges of COVID, required teachers to teach asynchronously during the year. We shifted and created different models for delivering instruction. There was also ongoing intensive cultural proficiency training as well. And to meet the expanding needs of our students as part of the holistic experience pathway, the district engaged additional mental health and wellness counselors to assist in the delivery of these enhanced services. The district partnered with Effective School Solutions and Aldersgate. In terms of the last pathway, communications and engagement, we forged what we hope to be lasting relationships with Arcadia University and Thomas Jefferson East Falls campus to provide our students with further enrichment and advanced STEM opportunities. Due to the efforts of the communications team, this year we continue to broaden our social media presence. As the district prepares its next strategic plan, we will take the lessons learned from the 2016-2021 plan and continue to inspect what we expect. That concludes my report. The next Educational Affairs Committee meeting is on Tuesday, September 20th at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haywood.
You're welcome.
Eastern Center for Arts and Technology, Mr. Burdell Williams.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. The Eastern Center for Arts and Technology has not met since our last legislative meeting. We are scheduled to meet tomorrow at 8 p.m. That meeting will be in person at the Eastern Center for Arts and Technology on Turwood Road. The schedule for all of the 2022-2023 Eastern Center for Arts and Technology Joint Operating Committee meetings are available online. For the knowledge of the public, the plan for the Joint Operating Committee is to meet in person for half of the meetings and to meet virtually for the other half of the meetings. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Burdell Williams. The Montgomery County Intermediate Unit did not meet through the summer. That Ms. Loman will have a report at the September legislative meeting, most likely. Facilities, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you. Yes, the Facilities Committee has not met since the last board meeting, and it will meet before the next legislative board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Liaison Group, Mr. Cohen.
Yes, thank you. The liaison group meetings in June and July were canceled. The next meeting is being scheduled for a date in September. Thank you.
Thank you. Policy meeting, Ms. Hayward.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Henry. I'm giving this report on behalf of Mr. Epps, who was not available this evening. The policy committee meeting was held on June 22nd, 2022 at 8 a.m. via Zoom. After the roll call and approval of the May 25th, 2022 minutes, we discussed the policies listed on the consent agenda under the policy committee's report. This evening, there are 4 policies that are being presented for adoption. The policies discussed under old business of the policy committee agenda are policy 362, outside employment and outside business interest, policy 702, donations to the district, policy 801, public access to school records, and policy 609, investment of district funds. And tonight there are 3 policies considered for repeal. Policy 462 and 562, outside employment and outside business interest. They're considered for repeal with the adoption of policy 362. Policy 256, student accidents and injuries, recognizing that in the sole instance, there are enough procedures in place that a policy is not required. That's why this one's going forward for repeal. Other topics discussed during the new business portion of the meeting are 3 first read policies, and they are policy 818, contracted services, policy 828, district-wide safety, and policy 146, trauma-informed approach. All first read and new first read policies and administrative regulations, or ARs, from tonight will be discussed at the next policy committee meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, August the 23rd at 7 p.m. via Zoom. That concludes Mr. Epps's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haywood. The legislative committee did not meet since the last meeting, so there's no report for that. I think, unless I missed, that concludes all of our committee reports. Okay. We will go on to the approval of agenda items as listed on the agenda. Before we take a vote, I'd like to open it up to the board if they have any comments. Ms. Hayward?
Yes, I just noticed Mr. Taylor in the audience, and I just wanted to welcome him back to Wyncote Elementary School as their principal for this coming school year. Thank you.
I did have one comment as well, and this is very much so in the same light of what Dr. Scriven shared earlier in regards to the free breakfast that will be offered at our schools throughout this year. This is a significant change for the community, but definitely a move toward a more equitable school system, which is something that we all want. I think it is something that we need to take advantage of and also understand and recognize the benefits of it as well. I hope that we can share much more information about it with the community so everyone is fully aware, not just that it's happening, but that is something that's being done to try to advance the educational experience for all of the students in the school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burdell Williams. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda items?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries. We will now have public comments on non-agenda items. That's what happens in the summer. People on vacation. All right, we will move on. Response to prior public questions. There are 4 questions that were listed from the last legislative meeting. And how they were addressed is also listed in the agenda. Our future meetings are as listed in the agenda. Okay, Dr. Scriven has a comment.
So good evening, everyone. I would be remiss if I did not afford our new employees an opportunity to come to the podium and bring remarks. Now I can, with great excitement and joy, also acknowledge Mr. Jim Taylor, who will be assuming the principalship at Wyncote Elementary School. So I would ask if Mr. DeAndrea, Mr. Teller, and Mr. Swigert, in that order, if you guys could just come to the podium and bring greetings. Nothing heavy. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm understanding that that is past practice. Mr. Perez, were you here to bring greetings as well, sir?
Good evening, board members and Dr. Scriven and Dr. Smith. I just want to thank you all very much for the opportunity. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Scriven and Dr. Smith. I just want to thank all of you very much for the opportunity to serve this community. I've been so impressed with all that I've learned in the short time that I've been part of this community. As Dr. Scriven shared, I'm now a resident of Cheltenham Township, and I'm very excited for the start of the school year and look forward to meeting all of our students and staff and families. So thank you very much. Have a great evening.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank you. That's one of the first jobs of being a principal. You have to figure things out on the fly. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you publicly to the board for your tremendous encouragement and your support. It's been quite a journey to get to this moment. And I just appreciate you so much. I appreciate Dr. Smith and Dr. Scriven for your consistent, constant support of my work in the district. I'm starting my 19th year here in Cheltenham, so I've been around the block for a while. I look forward to growing that relationship and appreciate your confidence you've put into me tonight. I know that my mother always taught me that 2 of the most beautiful words are thank you, and I can't say that enough. And I do owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Dr. Clark for her leadership, for the work and time she put into me, bringing me onto the staff at Wyncote many years ago as a kindergarten teacher. She was my, as I was getting my certification, she supervised my internship. And I am truly, truly grateful for the friendship that we share and the time and energy and advice. She's got a lot of advice to give that she has invested in me. And I also want to thank Mr. Craig Metcalf, the principal at Cedarbrook, who I had the great privilege of working with this past year, and for his guidance and his friendship and his leadership. So I look forward to starting this journey anew with each of you. And again, my heartfelt thank you to each of you.
Thank you, Mr. Teller. And I just want to, as Josh, you can come on, Mr. Swigert. I just want to also echo those sentiments towards Dr. Clark. She has spent almost a couple decades as the leader and principal in that Wyncote community. we were doing definitely from my perspective, what I felt was in the best interest of the district as a whole. But we are fortunate to now have her leadership at the helm at Elkins Park. And thank you for acknowledging and also recognizing those opportunities that she has created and that mentorship that she has provided. I really appreciate it. Mrs. Swigert, before you go, I have one more individual because he brought his whole family and I think his dad just stepped out, is Mr. Emmanuel Carrera, who's going to be our new music teacher at Cedar Brook. Mr. Carrera, just stand up, sir, so you can be recognized, because the fact that you, the family are here, I believe you have a daughter who just promoted from EP going to the middle as well. That's going to be interesting. And I'm gonna give you an opportunity to speak after Mrs. Swigert. I think that's important, and I did want to recognize the family and you taking time to come out. Looking forward to you bringing your talents from Norristown to Cheltenham. I'm going to call that out. Mrs. Swigert.
Thank you, Dr. Scriven. 95 degrees, not a good night to wear a suit, but here we are. 6 years ago, I switched careers and dedicated my passion to serving children and working for school districts. I hope to bring that passion here to this school district, and I hope to live up to the expectations we set. That's my goal. I will work hard. I will work tirelessly. I thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with you and everyone here at the district. So far, it's been great. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Mr. Carrera. And just so you know, when you play the name game, you better make sure you have everything covered. Are there any other new employees that are here with us in person? I just want to make sure. The mic is yours, sir.
Sir, I was planning just to be in attendance, but it's an honor to come and
That's
speak
okay.
in front of you guys tonight. But my name is Emmanuel Carrera. It is an honor. I wanted to bring my family here because we come from generations of educators. My father, for many, many years, served as a counselor in the Philadelphia School District. I have sisters, brothers who serve in all capacities all over the state. And education is something that we instill in our family as an item of great importance, as something that we put a lot of emphasis into. And it was really special to bring my family tonight, just to see what goes on in these meetings and how it's have my kids see how their dad gets installed into the Cheltenham School District. So that was very special. I want to thank you all. This is my 14th year in music education. And I'm just looking forward, as a longtime resident now of Cheltenham Township, I'm just looking forward to coming home and just being where I feel like I belong. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome to not only all of our new employees. After you only get like 1 month, after a month, you're not new anymore here, just so you know. But I am so excited to be starting this school year with everybody who is here. I'm excited that, you know, although our normal across the entire world has changed, we do have our kids back in the classroom. We have our teachers back in the classroom. And I'm so excited about what this year will mean to all of us. And so welcome to Cheltenham School District. Excited that you are all here. We bring this great energy and just, you know, the love for our students. I'd also like to just give a shout out to Ms. Mulhern, who this is the first in-person meeting that she's had since she's been a board member. So we have some other board members who also have not been in an in-person meeting. They're on vacation enjoying themselves, as we all need to do every once in a while, but they'll be here for the September meeting. So thank you, everyone. And I will now make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
The fastest legislative meeting in the history of Cheltenham School District. This meeting is adjourned.